Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Live with Mel. There was a coup in Myanmar today, on Monday. But before we dive in and talk about what is going on in Myanmar, let's go ahead and thank our sponsors for sponsoring this episode. I would like to thank New House Cleaners. Now, New House Cleaners are here to keep your home and office space clean and tidy. In no time, New House Cleaners will be having your house looking like new. So if you're looking for a maid or a cleaning service, go ahead and click that link for New House Cleaners. Now, Myanmar, there was a coup on Monday. The military has detained Aung San Suu in a military coup. Now, this coup was brought upon because of the election that happened in November. Now, in November, in Myanmar, they held elections. And these elections, Aung San Suu's party won the democratic election by a landslide. Now, this was a regular democratic, fully democratic election. And Aung San Suu Kyi's party, who is the voice of democracy in the country, won the election. Now, while Aung San Suu Kyi's party won the election, the political party that has been backed by the military started saying that the landslide victory was fraud. They started saying that the election was not fair, that it was not a democratic process, and that Aung San Suu Kyi's party won the election by fraud. And because of this, many people had feared that a coup was going to take place. Many people believed that the military was going to strike. Even Aung San Suu had said that there is a possibility that the military was going to come in and try to take over and try to eliminate the democratic process. And while there's been talks and talks of this happening, it finally did occur on Monday. On Monday, the military came in and essentially took over the country. The military came in and detained several democratic leaders, including Aung San Suu Kyi. Now, many people are saying that this could be the end of democracy in Myanmar. Because of this democratic process, because many people are saying that the election, many people who are part of the party that is backed by the military were saying that the election was fraud. Now, looking at the election, we do know that fraud was not the case, and that Aung San Suu Kyi's party won by a landslide. And again, it wasn't a close election back in November. It was a very, 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 very far away election where Aung San Suu Kyi's party won the election by a landslide. And there was no denying it or no fighting it. But since the military's team did not win, since the political party that was backed by the military did not win the election, they started saying that fraud had occurred. And on Monday, today, we see that the military has finally taken action against the democracy, against the democratically elected president, against democracy in itself, and has staged a coup and has detained, in Myanmar, has detained several high-profile democratic leaders, including Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi. Now, this morning, people of Myanmar were greeted with a message on the television stating that the military was now in charge of Myanmar and that Senior General Min Aung Hlaing would be in charge of the country for an entire year. Now, Aung San Suu Kyi's party is saying to continue to believe in the democratic process. They're saying that we need to continue to fight for the democratic process and to not believe the military and to not fall into the military coup. But because of everything that's going on, it's looking as though democracy may be lost in the country if Myanmar has to deal with this by themselves. So guys, tell me what you think. What do you guys think about everything that's going on in Myanmar? What do you guys think of the coup? What do you think about the military coming in and changing this process? Because again, Myanmar has been fighting for democracy. Myanmar, formerly known as Burma, has been fighting to ensure that it is a country that has democracy. They've been fighting to ensure that they have democratically elected officials ruling the country. But now, because of this coup, because of what's going on in Myanmar, because of the military storming in and forcing a military leader in place, it's looking as though democracy may be gone in the country. Now, the UN has stated that this is a major blow for democracy in general. Now, if we look at everything that's happening in Myanmar right now, we see that, again, the citizens of Myanmar were greeted with a message this morning on the military television channel. And it stated that Senior General Min Aung Hlaing will now be the president for a year. So now the general, who was not elected, is going to be in charge of the country for an entire year if no one steps up and does something. And when I say steps up and does something, they are more likely looking to the international community to step in and do something in order to preserve democracy in Myanmar. Now, the citizens of Myanmar are now in a situation where they have to deal with a nighttime curfew, and the military is patrolling the streets day in and day out now in order to preserve the coup that they did. Now, this coup, again, so going back to the beginning for people who are just now tuning in, this coup was done in Myanmar on Monday, today, because many people who backed the military-backed political party has stated that the election in November was full of fraud. Now, again, there was no fraud found in this November's election. And Parliament was scheduled to take place this week and to form a government and to put everything in place to ensure that democracy continues in. And while Parliament was supposed to meet today, instead, the country is now dealing with the fraud that is the coup that is happening because people believe that this election was filled with fraud. Now, going to the election itself, this election was a landslide election. This election showed that the people of Myanmar had decided that Aung San Suu Kyi's party was the party they wanted to continue to lead the country. But because the military-backed political party lost, instead of bowing out graciously, instead of trying to run in the next election, the military-backed political party decided that they were going to say that the election was filled with fraud. And because of that, they had staged a coup, which happened today, and they are now running the streets of Myanmar. They are now in charge, and they have now put the Senior General Min Aung Hlaing in charge, and they're saying that he's going to be in charge for an entire year. They're stating that for the entire year, essentially, the military is going to run the country. Now, again, this is a major blow to democracy in so many ways. The people of Myanmar have spoken. They have said that they want this political party leading the country. And they are now having their voice stripped from them, and they are now being forced to live under a regime that took over the government by coup. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you guys think about what's going on in Myanmar? What do you guys think about what's going on in a country that has fought for democracy time and time again? Myanmar has been a country that has wanted democratic rule and has been put in a position time and time again to have it be pushed out. So Joanna says, It's very sad. At this point with the coup, they'll have no control over what happens next. It is under dictatorship. Again, for change to take place, it's going to take protest, bloodshed, etc. Just sad. And that's what Joanna is saying is going to happen. Now, I do want to point out that this coup happened with no bloodshed. They did come in, they did take charge of the country, but there was no bloodshed that happened in this coup. But if they're going to fight back, it looks as though there may be bloodshed. Sheila said, "We spent months in Myanmar years ago. It was common for hotels to hold our passports and what international newspapers we could get from the airport. We'd have holes and articles cut out of them." And that is extremely sad. And it's true. There is censorship when you go to places like Myanmar. But again, they have been fighting and fighting and fighting for democracy. They've been fighting for moving away from this type of censorship, but coups like this pushes the country back in so many ways. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in today, and let me know what you think about what's going on in the country. Let me know what you think about what's going on in Myanmar. Again, the coup took place this morning. The military has put themselves in charge of the country, and they are ignoring the election results from the election that happened in November. Now, in November, Aung San Suu Kyi's party had won the election by a landslide. This is not an election that was won by a very close margin. This was a landslide election, and the political party that is backed by the military could not and would not see that as being the truth. And because of that, they have insisted that the election is rigged with fraud. And that is why the military has staged a coup and has taken over the country. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. And let me know what you guys think in the comments below, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching the replay later on, Let me know what you think about what's going on, about the military saying that there was fraud in the elections, about the coup in general, or just about what's going on in Myanmar. Let me know what you think. And thank you guys so much for tuning in this morning. I come on live every single Monday through Thursday to talk to you guys about current events. And I love when you guys comment in, because you guys can comment in on real time and we can have an actual discussion about what's going on in the world and all current events that are happening. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And I would like to thank our sponsors, New House Cleaners. If you guys are looking for a cleaning service, go ahead and check out newhousecleaners.com. They're an amazing maid and cleaning service. And I will see everyone tomorrow. And also, if you like this show, you'll like my other show on TV. You can watch me on TV. You can watch me here on Facebook. You can watch me many, many places. And that is The Mel Show. And that comes on every single Tuesday. But you can watch all of season 1 right now. And that's on Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire, all on the Easy Way Network. Again, you can watch that. That show is not about current events like that. That show is about motivating, educating, empowering you to be your best self. So there's many places you can watch me. And again, I look forward to seeing every single one of you bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow.